Welcome to the StockMiner.com studios. I'm your StockMiner, Brian Johnson. And we had a consolidation day today as things moved really, I want to say sideways, but if we look at the market, you can see that the NASDAQ was actually down 0.8% today, while the Dow Jones was up 0.2%. So a little bit of discrepancy in which direction we want to go. As I mentioned yesterday, the Dow being the lagger usually takes a little while to make its move. Here in this case, it was up today. So for those of you that might have taken that trade over 10,900 and stayed in it for a day, yeah, still getting rewarded today. Still sketchy. If you're going to hold overnight, especially to the long side, I'd be very cautious in doing so. As you can see, these things can change very, very quickly. From a daily perspective, we are still, though, up and above these overhead resistance areas, holding very nicely at this point and waiting for new numbers to come out tomorrow. But as of right now, listen, still neutral to bullish on this market. Can't be anything but until we start to break these lower levels. Everything still is a go from a bull standpoint. Anything up and above about, this 11,100 mark or so, take us back into 11,200, get us moving in that direction. The NASDAQ, while it did pull back a lot more, as you can see here, the NDX itself was down almost 0.9%, which is even greater than what the original NASDAQ was. You can see it just came back to retest this blue line. Very common. So still nothing broken in any way, shape, or form from the bull side. Break the line, come back, retest it, and hold. Also held the 20 and the 50 period moving averages on the 60-minute chart. So everything's still working out just fine. Overall, keep in mind that this is sideways chop action here. So came back, retest the 20, move up, move back down. Overall, sideways, sideways, sideways. Looking for that break above 2025 or 2030, as we talked about in yesterday's video. Look what the high was today, 2024.92. Yeah, so lending extra credence to the 2025 mark. Be very cautious on any moves up into that area. From a weekly, not going to talk about it really for them, but just sideways so far this week. Not much to talk about here until Friday. SPX on a 60-minute, okay, up into this blue line. I said, yeah, you can kind of fiddle with that line, but look, a move up, a pull back, and now kind of moving back up into it again. There's just overall, look, we stayed above the 1150 mark. That was the most important part to hold. You can see today the low was only 1155, really. The entire day moved a total of about 7 points. Not that big of a move, so the bears still very, very complacent to let the bulls have their way with things. Apparently, they still are considering the fact that things are extremely bullish here in the markets. Break up above 1150, that was your trade to the long side. If you stuck in it for a day, you still made some money. Didn't make as much as you would have yesterday, but about. Everything ended up about equal for the day. A little bit of up, a little bit of down, right back to square. Yes, that is a potential topping candle, but whatever. So don't care about these things right here. Market is still neutral to bullish up in this area. 1150 breaks below that, okay, maybe we have something to discuss. But really, until we start breaking back down into 1125-ish and whatnot, just really nothing to talk about from a bear side in the least bit. Bulls still in charge for the time being. From a weekly too, here's Wednesdays. You can see what we're looking at here. Nice little white candle. Certainly not nothing to be too worried about if you are bullish on the markets for the time being. But let's see where that closes come Friday. We got job numbers coming up. We'll see if that makes any kind of a difference. Look at the VIX. Right back, retesting this lower green area. Certainly looks to me like there's some still opportunity for it to shoot a little bit lower. Once it breaks this about, let's call it the 21 area. Once the VIX starts to break about 21, I really think this market's got some bullishness left in it. That'll be the place to hold. Once it breaks and closes below 21, I'm looking at 20, and then I'm looking right down here towards the 1850-ish area on the VIX. Held very nicely at that line. Overall, still sideways from a bigger picture perspective. Nice to step back, take a look at this sometimes. But in this case, very boring as well. It's been the same thing since August. September, October, we haven't gone anywhere. It's just moving sideways here a little bit. VIX is... nobody's worried. Investors are not scared here. Even as extended as the market is, look, investors are not in any way, shape, or form worried about what we're seeing here. There's nothing being reflected in the options that would tell you to be anything but neutral to bullish right here quite yet. Wait for those more major breaks. Apple on a 60-minute coming back up, holding this blue line, holding, but for how long? I like it below the 285 mark. If you guys want to try another short in Apple, or try a short in Apple, maybe below 285. Otherwise, still above 290, I think, is an opportunity to play it to the long side. Then ultimately above 295 for the more conservative. Same thing's showing from the daily as well. You can see it putting in a little indecision candle here. So I still like it above 290 and or below 285 for your trades, one way or the other on Apple. Weekly perspective 2, moving sideways, still holding the larger area of 275-ish. That's the more major level to watch as we enter the remaining end of the week. Good news in the jobs, good news wherever, pushes this thing up, breaks above 295. I think 300 plus is definitely in the works for Apple if it can get up above that 295 mark. FAS, moving sideways, down a whopping 6 cents today, showing us really nothing to talk about today. Look at this. Lots of consolidation. This is exactly what the market showed us today too. Internals, everything about the market today was just flat. There just is not anything going. I don't even know if we're going to get a lot of movement tomorrow. I think job numbers are maybe what everybody's really watching for. Let's see if that has any kind of bearing on the market whatsoever. Going to do a video next for my subscribers where I'll go into a little bit more detail about what I'm really looking for and what the future direction of the market could be based on the data that we get over the next couple days. But right now, I think everybody's maybe just sitting tight, waiting for these job numbers to come out. So FAS down a whopping 6 cents today. Not much to be traded. Got to be on your toes if you're going to make any money on this stock. You got to really know what you're doing. Otherwise, another day to just sit on your hands, avoid these stocks like the plague, wait for better entries. Back above 23 is your entry to the long side. Look what we hit today, 22.98. 22.98. So back above 23 for your long. Back below, man, I don't know. 22 for a short, maybe. Just there's a lot of support down here. You got to be very, very careful with this particular stock right now. So back above 23, I think takes us back to 23.50, then maybe 24. Back below 22. I don't know, 21.50 maybe for a short. If you want to take it anywhere lower than that, FAZ on a 60-minute. Most of you looking at this 1280-ish mark. I liked below 1225, did not get there today, and we never really got above 1260. Well, I take that back, 1261. Woohoo, by a penny. Don't know if any of you took that trade, but 1260 above that is still, I think, a decent trade to the long side, and or below 1225 for your short. I think it's just as clear cut as that on the daily as well, below 1225 and above 12, let's call it 1260. 1260, maybe 1265 if you want to be a little bit more cautious in that respect, and then I think it takes us back into the 1280-ish area or whatever you want to watch some of these overhead areas, but some of these lines are going to change coming into next week. So let's watch these areas. Just a consolidation day today. Very common after a big move one way or the other. And that's all we got today was sideways motion. So waiting for that next break. We waited for the break to come, which we got yesterday. It made us some money. So now we're right back into stall mode, guys. Be patient. Wait for your breaks. Remember, we're talking about your money here. Okay? Don't just throw your money at stuff. If you like to do that, go to Vegas. It's a heck of a lot more fun, okay? Yanking on the slot machines and dropping it on roulette or whatever. That's a blast. Have a good time. Go spend your money there. You don't have to sit at home on your computer and just throw money at the market if you want to lose it. You can go to Vegas and lose it. Give back to the economy. Otherwise, be cautious about your trades. Take your entries when they're given to you, and that way you can better make use of your trading money. All right, be back with you again tomorrow night. Bye.